Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Sales Technology Podcast. I'm David Dulany, your host, and I'm joined today by Nick Smith, the founder, president, and CEO of Sales. How are you doing today, sir?
Hey, David, I'm doing well. Glad to be here.
Well, thanks for joining us. You are absolutely on the cutting edge of the AI sales revolution that we're seeing right now, and you're been able to work directly with a lot of customers on the product. How did you get into this, and what are you guys working on?
It's a great question. I founded the company after a long sales and sales leadership career myself. So it was actually 2018, 4th of July of 2018. I was thinking about my own career and thinking about how everyone was trying to make prospecting a little bit easier or a little bit softer. And the answer were point solutions to help automate a part of the process or help assist in prospecting. And my idea was, why don't salespeople have one product, AI, that's unique to them, that prospects the way they would and does all of it? So one product instead of multiple point solutions and being unique to them. And from there, I met a developer that later became our co-founder, and we developed the first AI model largely based on my own sales career and how I would prospect. And we turned it on, and that's how the business kind of came to be.
That's interesting. Okay, so and it's funny because we at Tenbound put together a market map of sales technology companies, and last in the directory we had about 3,000 sales tech companies listed, and it's a recurring problem that people hear is that there's just so many technologies out there to choose from. Just I wish I could just because I'm just trying to make sales, right? I don't want to have to learn all these hundreds of different technologies. And so what you're saying is you basically created like an alter ego of the salesperson to be able to just say, here, you prospect while I sell.
That's exactly right. But I think I'll make another point as well, David. Why are there so many sales enablement tools, or why are there so many point solutions? Well, on the surface, it's because there's so much nuance to sales. It's not really as easy as, here's my ideal decision maker, I'm going to engage them and try and sell them something. Sales is full of nuance. Folks like you and I that have spent our career in sales know that. So if we were to build a product, it would account for the nuance. But most sales enablement software companies were not founded by people that had spent much time in sales. Not to take anything away from them, obviously extremely smart people. But I don't think so many of these companies realize the nuance until they're into it, or they do realize the nuance and they say this would make a great point solution. So our approach, which has been difficult, was one product that accounted for the nuance. And the way you account for the nuance is to account for the person. And every salesperson is truly unique. Just ask them, they'll tell you, I'm sure.
Yeah. And every market is unique, and the
Yes.
support that you get from marketing, to get you leads and things like that. And it's like ultimately people just want to be able to sit down and go, hey, Google, or hey, Alexa, give me an appointment with the purchasing agent at IBM, like next Tuesday after my golf game. I mean, you want it to be like that easy. So how did you guys think about creating this and enabling the salesperson without having to log into like 100 different things?
So we fell into 100% adoption as a happy accident of not even having a user interface until we were north of, almost a 3 million ARR. And so what I mean by that is what we started building first was the SaleBot product. And the idea was this SaleBot will be unique to a sales rep, and it will do everything prospecting completely hands-free. And because it was hands-free, it was very close to what you just said. I want meetings with this person, or I want my SaleBot to do X. Here are my requirements. And then it went to work in the background. And when there was an outcome, it would send it to the person. And so adoption was extremely high, but there wasn't like a platform or a dashboard, because our thought at the time was, well, salespeople don't really need another platform or dashboard to log into. So that was sort of part one of this. But the second thing that we realized is just how big of a need there was across across large sales teams or large footprint sales organizations. So we knew we needed to give more control to what we call the captain or the person in charge of that sales team so that they could see all of the work that's being done in the background by their sale bots. So today, if I'm a sales manager, let's call it, and I oversee 20 salespeople, all 20 of those salespeople have sale bots. All 20 of them are unique to the person, and they do all prospecting for those 20 people. But as a sales manager, I can see digital labor, which is what we refer to as all the work the sale bot's doing, the cumulative work. But I can also see things like leads, engagement, industry trends, insights, and intelligence as well.
That's crazy. Okay, so because in the past you would hire an outsourced SDR team basically, and it would be it's very expensive, it's labor intensive. They're doing all this stuff, and then you meet with them once a week, and they go through it and go, okay, here's all the stuff that we've been doing, here's the results. So you essentially automated the outsourced SDR industry.
Yes. And the other challenge with outsourced SDRs is ultimately at the end of the day, it's not you. And let's be honest, the SaleBot's not you either. But our mission is to make it as close to you as possible. And you have control of it. And so that's a lot of our thesis on how to approach this.
Okay. And so what do I have to do as a salesperson to get it going? I have to like download my soul into some machine or something like wait, that's almost what it sounds like. But anyways, how does it work to get me or get you the information that I bring as the salesperson?
So it starts with your requirements. And the same way you would go to market and approach prospecting, you give your SaleBot that direction and you do it with onboarding. And the SaleBot uses that as requirements and it goes to work on autopilot from there. It finds data, finds companies, it finds decision makers. It enriches data in the background. Of course, it generates content and sends emails outbound, table stakes in 2025, right? But it also reads, reacts, responds, follows up, completely hands free. And then ultimately, it qualifies leads so that when you receive an AIQL, an AI qualified lead from your SaleBot, you know that it meets your requirements and that it's ready for you. It's human worthy for you to take over.
Okay. That's crazy. So, do I don't have to buy leads or data from other sources then? It's all part of the package?
That's exactly right. Yeah. And so one of the things I think our company has been on a journey with is communicating that. Companies come to us with a lot of different challenges. See point one about why there are so many point solutions. Some companies purely want to multiply their people. Other companies are significantly lead driven because maybe they're in a saturated market or maybe they have a very low number of people. And so what we want to do is solve all of those use cases, but we have to be really mindful of what that particular customer is trying to solve with those sale bots so that we can communicate our value effectively. But yes, is the answer to your question. The sale bot doesn't just qualify leads, it provides traditional leads like data and all of that.
Okay. And so if someone out there is looking for they've identified that, hey, I wanted an outsourced SDR solution. I'm going to start talking to those companies. Would you be in a category for them to also want to talk to you, or are you competing against a different, category?
I think if someone is sitting there saying, let's look to outsource SDR companies, we'd absolutely love to talk to them. And I think this would be a viable solution. But the other thing I think people are saying right now is they're looking around their sales team and they're saying, wow, I wish I had three more of her or three more of him. And what they've done in the past is try and enable everyone up to that level or hire more of those people they want more of. And the alternative view I would provide is yes, you can have three or more of her or him because you could give them a sale bot that's going to give them time back to be selling instead of searching and is going to give them even more revenue opportunities so they can do their most impressive work.
Got it. And it's just interesting because I live in San Francisco and there's all these billboards around saying stop hiring humans, just hire this AI SDR. And
Yeah.
it's like even they got a little bit of press because it's kind of creepy, you know. There's this like
Mm.
weird looking woman, you know, with eyes looking at you. Stop hiring humans. But essentially, this is the promise, right? That you can offload the grunt work of prospecting to this bot that's doing it for you, so that you can be doing more interesting things. And in your LinkedIn post recently, it said that you learned that real revenue results is the antidote for AI washing. So what did you mean by AI washing?
So a couple of thoughts here. I haven't seen the specific billboard, but I know that sort of general corner of the market and some of the those solutions that are out there. If you know what I would say on a billboard is make human work human worthy again. This is not about hiring less humans. It's about humans doing their most impressive work. And AI gives them the opportunity to do that. But to your question on AI washing, you know, you could sort of hack together like a spam GPT solution over a weekend. But how is that going to be judged? And how are sale bots going to be judged? And how should they be judged on real revenue? Our customers don't really care how the sausage is made. They want more for their best and from their best people. And sale bots are absolutely a way to do that. But at the end of the day, they have to close deals. Everything is in service of revenue. And so the quickest way to cut through, because I think what I also say in the LinkedIn post is, look, we were the first mover in this space. It's tempting to want to educate the whole market on buy this, buy that, don't buy this, here's what that is. But instead, all our customers care about is revenue and closing deals. And so the real antidote to is this real AI? Is this chat GPT with a pretty face or a scary face and a wrapper? Or is this authentic? The real answer to all of that is it works and it's going to result in revenue, which is the only problem you're trying to solve anyway.
Yep, 100%. Why are we doing this? What's the point of all this stuff? So, and this is the same question that I would ask an outsourced SDR agency. What happens if you are working with a client and it's the problem is further upstream or up funnel than what you can actually solve? So in other words, they have their product is not that great, they don't have that many customers, they haven't really figured out their go to market strategy, and they come to you and they go, hey Nick, replicate what's not actually working for me, and you go out and find me meetings you know
Demand generation is not a proxy for product market fit. And it's also not a good band aid for it as well, because it just kicks the can down the road of what needs to be actually addressed. On our journey to find our ideal customer profile, our own ideal customer profile, because we built this company, our company, with SaleBots. On that journey, there's a lot of people that need help generating demand. And there's a lot of people that don't want to do the work of learning how to prospect and learning how to close business. And, dare I say, there's a lot of people in the sales role that maybe don't know if they should be or want to be in the sales role. Demand generation doesn't solve any of that. Demand generation is about doing more simultaneously and intelligently and generating more pipeline from that. Repeatability, right? And so we've definitely identified customers that clearly the market's too saturated, or there's not interest in the product, or people even express frustration with with that company or with what they're trying to sell. And I think those insights are valuable. The problem is sometimes they buy the product not looking for insights, but just looking for leads or more at bats, or if we can just get more customers. And so I would encourage those companies to look inward instead of looking outward for answers.
Yeah, and I mean, you're put in the position you have to have a tough conversation, right? Because they look to you and go, "Hey, I'm going to use your product, so you're going to get me meetings," and then you come back and go, I can't get you meetings because your company sucks." I mean, does that have you had to deal with that?
So the way that we have this conversation is there are usually some sort of indicators of where there is interest or where there is an opportunity. Sometimes there's very, very few indicators. And we have to, not only do we have the conversation, but they can see it. They can see it in Starboard, which is the CRM for the AI. And so in Starboard, they can see what's working and what's not. So the data is there for them to see. But yes, we've had to have the conversation. Um, I would say many times they know this already. We've also seen people like leave that company and then quickly, as soon as they leave, buy a sale bot at another company. And the first thing they say is, "I'm so excited to use this for this company. The product's so much better." But they were reluctant to admit that at the prior company they worked for.
Okay. And so I got one more for you there. On the flip side, if you're teeing up these great meetings and everything's terrific, but then it turns out that the company's salespeople suck at sales and they can't close anything, do they then come to you? I mean, you've done your job at that point. And what do you say to them if they can't close anything that you're sending?
We've done our job at that point, but as I tell our team, let's be honest, um, revenue is what makes this whole thing work for them and for us. So we do notice. What we see as warning flags are people that are slow to convert opportunities, people that have a bias toward opportunities that come to them and why it wouldn't be good, instead of asking how this could be great. And so we definitely point those out to the sales leaders, but we do it in a way where it's supportive of the salesperson because we want to be promoting goodwill with them and making sure that they're set up for success too. So what we invest a lot of time in is onboarding, training, best practices. We have AI conversion specialists that work alongside our customers that help them as well.
Yeah, you're doing everything you can. And it's just interesting because there's unlimited demand for pipeline. I mean, like your total addressable market is like every B2B company on earth because
Yeah,
everybody needs more pipeline. If you don't need more pipe, I don't know. Maybe they don't. Maybe some military contractors don't need any more pipeline. But I mean, a lot of companies need what you do. But there's so many variables, that to make it successful, that it's hard. One question: if they have a sale bot, then do they ever come back to you and go, "Hey, we're already paying all these licenses for all this data and all this AI and all like five other sales tools. We're going to get rid of those and just further invest in you."
absolutely. So that conversation typically happens early. And even if that shift doesn't happen early, the conversation is there from the beginning because a lot of our customers are looking at how they can save costs now. Salespeople traditionally are much more excited about generating revenue than saving money, but we've had a lot more of those conversations recently about this sort of condensing of the sales stack and that sort of thing.
Yeah. So, and what kind of companies usually come to you? Is it tech companies? Is there like a certain industry that's adopting this?
Yeah, I would say generally speaking, mostly B2B, although we have some really successful, believe it or not, B2C use cases. And they're typically, I would classify them as, enterprise customers that come to us mostly that have a large sales team. They have a lot of great people, great processes, or a lot of processes. but they actually need more time. They really need to multiply who they have, and that's the story that's true across all. So industry agnostic, but truly appeals to a wide variety of industries, um, but tends to be larger companies.
Okay. And I won't ask you how much it is, but people can find out. Go to your website. How did you? So you were in sales, and then you started this. Have you raised money for the company, or are you bootstrapping it? What's your game plan?
We raised so we bootstrapped from 2020 to 2022. We raised a small seed round in 22, raised a series A last year. And the reason that we've been able to be so capital efficient is because the product works. And so this is not only our customers' number one channel, but it's what we use. So when you start at sales, your SaleBot launches as well. And if you're a salesperson, and generates opportunities. And so we have extremely efficient metrics to acquire customers. And that's how we've approached it. So obviously we're continuing to build and scale, and gearing up for even more scaling in 2025, but that's kind of been the history to date.
Man, it's great for you as a business owner, right? To be able to say, I mean, the biggest top line item is people, right? So instead of like hiring 500 salespeople, you just turn on a few more sales bots, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it. Well, Nick, thank you so much for coming on. How do we get in touch with you if somebody wants to try one? Do they, is there like a free trial or something like that?
So every SailBot's unique, so there's no free trial, but absolutely want to engage with companies and work with them in the capacity that makes the most sense. They can find us on the website sales.com. So sales.com or LinkedIn, obviously, or respond to your SailBot that will be reaching out to you at some point.
Nice. Okay. And I'm just last question. The name sales, like obviously it's sales. It is was are you thinking like a sail on a ship plus sales or what? Where did the name come from?
No, it's just simply sales spelled with AI instead of just an A.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
You just threw an AI in there. I got you.
Yeah. So what we say is sales with AI.
Nice. It sounds awesome. I mean, you're a sales guy. You get it. You converged with a incredible trend that's happening right now, and the sky's the limit. I think for what you're doing. So, congratulations on all the success, and thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks so much, David. It was really I really enjoyed it.